Hi, welcome to this tutorial. Today I'm going to be showing you how to set up an environment in your computer for programming. So depending on what you'll be programming, it's going to affect what kind of tools you're going to use. But mostly if you are programming, say web development, you're going to need a tool like a text editor and a browser. Basically that's it. And for most of the computers that are on the internet, obviously has a browser. So we're going to be using Chrome because it's got good tools. And I assume you have a browser of your choice that you prefer, but Chrome is the best. Especially if you are getting into development, you must also look into Chrome Dev. So you're just going to go into your address bar and type in Chrome Dev and then click on the first link. So it's going to take you to a page where you can download Chrome for developers. So you're going to click on this and it's going to automatically download. So after downloading, you're going to do the installation, which is easy to do. It's just a few clicks and then it's going to be installed on your computer. So moving on, we're going to download our text editor. So if you check on the internet, best text editors, say for web dev, it's going to give you a couple. So me myself, I prefer VS Code for obvious reason. This is from Microsoft, and Microsoft is a very big company, and it has a lot of documentation and extensions that for this platform. So now we're going to go open another tab and type in VS Code and download VS Code. So it's very easy to set up VS Code. You just click on the first link and then select your OS here. And I'm using Windows. I'm just gonna click on Windows and then it's gonna download automatically. So we're just going to wait for a few seconds for it to download. So assuming you're just getting started in programming, I assume you'll be starting with HTML and CSS because those are the basics that you require to start creating your web apps and websites. So now it's done. You just click on it. It will open the installation dialog. So I already have VS Code in my computer. I'm just going to take you the installation steps. So you need to select, after clicking next for a couple of times, you need to check these boxes and then click on next and then install. So it's going to install VS Code in your computer. It just takes a few seconds. Obviously there are other best text editors out there, but me and most of the developers prefer it for the reasons that you're going to see as we go on with this tutorial. So I'm just going to expand this window. So now this is VS Code, and then what we're going to do, you don't have to worry about how to use it because it's just a text editor like Notepad where you write your text with different extensions. Maybe you are writing a document or whatever. You can write any text file or document in this text editor. But as a developer, I assume you'll be writing something like HTML files, CSS files, JavaScript files, PHP files, depending on what you're working on. So to do that, in an efficient way, we need to use extensions. So now we see that there are extensions that are recommended. You will see the pop-up at the top here. So we're going to install VS Code icons. This one is just for icons to show you the icons of the files that you're working on, whether it's a Python file, whether it's a HTML file. It just makes the whole thing easier by making it look nice and all those kind of things. So we're also going to install Beautify. This one is going to paint your codes in different colors depending on what type of code. Is it a tab? Is it a selector? Is it an element? Is it a string? Is it a boolean? So it's going to differentiate using colors. So now we're going to also need to install IntelliSense. So path intelligence. So what this does is going to structure your code as you write it. The tabs is going to give it a space so that you know which tab is where. You'll see as we go on with our tutorials in future. So we are also going to need some couple of few extensions like Prettify. It also does the beautifying job to your code. So we're also going to install Liveserver. And lastly, we're going to install Monokai theme. Monokai Pro theme, and we're going to select on Spectrum just to make our code editor look nice. And then we're also going to install some of the recommended here. For HTML, we're going to type HTML. Oops, still doing this thing. So HTML support, we're also going to do HTML snippet. Some of the extension we install them as we go on, as we need them in our tutorials. For now, to get started, you need this couple of few. So now we can just go into our editor and test and see what this extension does. So I'm just going to go in and create a file. I'll just create an HTML file, and then on my keyboard I'm going to press Ctrl N. It's going to create a new file, but if you look at it, it's untitled. We need to rename this file and give it an extension so that it becomes an HTML file. For this, you're going to press Ctrl S, and then the pop-up window come. So I'm just going to put this file on desktop. I'm just going to name this file index.html for reasons that we are going to talk about in future. I'm just going to click save, and then so now we see that our file has been created. Whatever code that we are going to write in this file is going to be rendered as HTML and CSS and all those nice things. So to get started with this, because we have installed the plugins for HTML, and VS Code comes with something that is called Emmet that assists you in giving you boilerplates for your code. So if you click on Shift and 1, it's going to give you this Emmet abbreviation, and then if you click and enter, it's going to give you something that we call a HTML boilerplate, something that you don't have to worry about. But for now, for the sake of introduction, I'll just speed this tutorial up. So this is basically the backbone of every page that you see in the web, as long as it's a web page and it's using HTML. So now we're going to write the title of our page. I'm just going to say my first app. And then Control Save. So now we have the header and we have the body. So on the body is where all the magic happens, where you write the code and it's going to be displayed in the browser. So now if I write anything here, let me just say H1. Don't worry about these tags, we're going to learn them in future, what they are for and what they do. For now, I'm just going to say, oh, hello. Hello world. Control Save, and we'll go to the browser and open this file. So we see that now our file is being loaded into the browser. This is what basically happens when you go to a website. You type in the domain name or the address, and then it displays information that is in the code or in the saver or in that file. So if you look at the top of the tab there, it says our first app, my first app, which is the title of the app. So now if we do this and open the browser on the side here so that you can see clearly. Now if you come here and add some text, you see when I type P, it gives me these suggestions because of the plugins and the VS Code image abbreviations. So I'm just going to click on enter. It's going to automatically create a paragraph tab for me. So now this is just the introduction. We're going to dive deeper into this into HTML as we go along with our course. Now I'm just going to type in lorem. It's going to give me a bunch of text, and I'm just going to click on Control S for saving and reload my browser shortcut using F5, and then we see that our text is rendered. Now we can change the color of text by using styling. We can say style. You see, as I type, it automatically gives me suggestion, and I just click enter, and then it asks what do I want, and I want to change color. I'll just say color of the text, and then what type of color. I'm just going to choose this one, blue, and then if I click on, let's choose blue. So if I hover over the color name, it also gives me this color playground where I can adjust and change my colors accordingly. So now if I click on Control S to save and come to my browser and hit F5, we see that our text changes to blue, but blue is almost black. Let's try red, the color that is distinctive, and then click on save and refresh. We see that our color is changing accordingly. So you can do a lot of things using CSS in terms of styling the website. HTML is just the structure or the backbone of the website. You can do a lot with JavaScript and PHP in terms of making your website function and be dynamic. We'll talk about this as we go along with our course. For now, thank you for watching this video. Please like and subscribe and share with your friends, and watch the other videos that go into details with other technologies that we are going to use in the future.